Hello dear students, this is Pirzada Imran and welcome again back to my channel. So as you can see the top slide of our today's topic, we are gonna literally talk about the most prominent writers of the Jacobean era. In my channel, I'll be providing you with updated details and the most versatile questions which are frequently asked in our competitive exams like NET, SET, SLET and all other state exams like TGT and PGT. I'll be providing you with the most authentic knowledge. I hope you will I hope you will stick with me along this journey, and you will keep reading with keen interest, and you will keep supporting me by subscribing my channel, by sharing my contents, and by leaving the likes on my videos, as I will be providing the most unique contents uh, in the world of English literature. So let's start our today's session, which is about the prominent writers of the Jacobean era. So let me give you a brief introduction about the Jacobean era. So in the Jacobean era, we had James the First, who was on the English throne, and the James First was also called James Fifth, or sorry, James Sixth of Scotland. So in England, he was called James First, and keep it in mind, in Scotland, he was called James the Sixth. So this was the time when there was the union of crowns between England and Scotland. So there was a union of crowns between England and Scotland, and but there were two different names of the same king. So James First was on throne. He was succeeded in 1566. Okay, so he succeeded the throne in 1566, and then his reign ended in 1625. He ruled almost for 59 years. So this was the time when there was the permanent expansion of English race overseas. There were many colonies set up in Virginia, in New England, in West Indian Islands, Barbados, and in on the coasts of Hindustan. So let's move to our next slide. Let me tell you about the literary forms of that time. So theaters were mostly run through the imitation of Shakespeare, as in the Elizabethan era. Actually, Jacobean age comes in the age of Renaissance. So the age of Renaissance covers the period from 1558 to 1649. Keep it in mind, I'm repeating again. The age of Renaissance covers the time period from 1558 to 1649. In the age of Renaissance, there are three phases. One is Elizabethan period, second is Jacobean age, when James the First rules the throne, and then there is Caroline age, in which Charles first ascends the throne. So there is Elizabethan age, there is Jacobean age, and there is Caroline age. So there are three different forms and three different time periods for these separate ages. If we will see the Elizabethan age, it starts from 1558 to 1603. Starts from 1558 to 1603. And then there is Jacobean age, in which James the First rules, which is our today's topic. It starts from 1603 to 1624. And after this, there is Caroline age, which is ruled by Charles First, and it starts from 1625 to 1649. Okay, now let me tell you about the literary forms. So whatever the work was written, it was mostly the imitation of William Shakespeare, as William Shakespeare pretty much dominated the Elizabethan age. Shakespeare, aside from the Christopher Marlowe and all other university wits, almost dominated the Elizabethan age with his sonnets and with his mostly dramas. So, comedies and masks were written in the Jacobean period. Theaters were closed due to the Puritan Revolution. Okay, so theaters were closed due to the Puritan Revolution, and then later they were again restored in the Restoration period. Okay, when the theaters were opened again. So, sonnet, which was like popularized by William Shakespeare, was now gone out of the fashion. Now there were two writers, John Donne and John Milton, who used to write the religious poetry and wrote some sonnets, which were very famous. So now there is an important thing, important fact. There is a saying, important saying, which is, "He was not of an age, but for all time." So this is a quote which has been said about which had been said about William Shakespeare, and this is said by none other than Ben Jonson. So Ben Jonson has said this about Shakespeare, that he was not of an age but for all time. Means Shakespeare's writings, his dramas, his tragedies and comedies were so prominent that they had a huge and immense effect, not for a particular age, but they were so diverse, and they were so excellent, uh, and they had such a huge grasp that it could survive in all ages. So let's move to the next slide. We have now the prominent playwrights of the Jacobean era. So this list of writers are among the most prominent writers, the most prominent dramatists of the Jacobean era. So first we see here there is Ben Jonson, the very famous dramatist known for his comedies. There is Francis Beaumont, John Fletcher, who uh, who have collaboratively. Francis Beaumont and John Fletcher has collaboratively written more than 50 dramas, more than 50 comedies together. And there is then another important writer, George Chapman. There is John Morstan, and there is Cyril Turner. There is John Morstan and there is Cyril Turner. And there is John Day, Thomas Dekker, Thomas Middleton, Thomas Hayward, John Webster, known for the Comedy of Manners. John Webster is known for the Comedy of Manners, and John Ford. There are other two writers, Philip Messenger and James Shirley. So I will be giving you one by one description about these playwrights. This, if I will start, giving description of all these playwrights and about their important works, I think it will be a huge and big video. So I will be making the short videos in which I will capture in each video two or three writers. I'll be capturing, and I'll be covering all these topics for you. And I hope you will keep viewing my channel, keep gaining this essential knowledge, which is very much required and most important for the competitive exams. So let's move to the uh, first writer of the Jacobean era or Jacobean age, who is none other than Ben Jonson. So it's considered that if there is the second most important dramatist after Shakespeare, it is Ben Jonson. So he was actually born in London in 1572, and he is known for his comedy of humors. So his most important works are Every Man in His Humor, written in 1598, which is a comedy. Another important work is Volpone, 1605, and it's also a comedy. His another work, Epicony, or its subtitle is Or the Silent Woman, it is written in 1609. And there is Alchemist, written in 1610. There is Bartholomew Fair in 1614. And there is an interesting fact related to this drama, Bartholomew Fair. There is a particular scene or there is a particular action called puppet dance, and it has been frequently asked in net that which of the following dramas of Ben Jonson, or in which of the following dramas of the Ben Jonson is this puppet scene or puppet dance performed. So this is, keep it in mind students, this is Bartholomew Fair, published in 1614. uh, in this work this puppet dance scene is there. Okay, so there's another work by Ben Jonson, that's The Mask of Blackness. Let's move to the other prominent writer, that's Francis Beaumont. So he is the English Jacobean poet and dramatist who collaborated, as I said, with John Fletcher in writing comedies and tragedies. Okay, so his works are Philester. It's a romantic tragicomedy. Philester, Philaster, Philester. So it is written between 1608 and 1610. There is another work, A King and No King. It's a collaborated play of him and Fletcher. Like I said, they have collaborated a lot of plays. And then there is The Maid's Tragedy, which is also a collaboration. There then is The Night of the Burning Pestle, which is a satirical comedy. So talking about John Fletcher. So he was born in Sussex, England in 1579. And like I said, 50 comedies and tragedies were written by Fletcher and Beaumont together throughout their course of life. And there are some works which are not collaborations, like The Faithful Shepherdessy, written in 1608, very important work by John Fletcher. And also, there is a fact about John Fletcher that he also served as a house playwright for Shakespeare's Kingsman. So Kingsman is actually the drama company. These were the group of actors in which William Shakespeare was the lead actor, and in which all the other prominent writers have also performed. So it was a it was an acting house, and it was named Kingsman, which was leaded by William Shakespeare. So there is George Chapman, another important writer of the Jacobean era, and he is mostly known for his comedies. He has written a lot of comedies, and the list of comedies is the top comedies which I have mentioned here are The Blind Beggar of Alexandria, written in 1598, and Humorous Day's Mirth, written in 1599, All Fools, written in 1605, Monsieur d'Olive, 1606, The Gentleman Usher, written in 1606, The May Day, written in 1611, The Widow's Tears, written in 1612. So there's a saying about George Chapman, frequently being asked in net, very important question. I have separated it because I found it important, and it's a quote. It says, "A dwarfish thought dressed up in gigantic words or gigantic words, a dwarfish thought dressed up in gigantic words." So this is the quote which is spoken by John Dryden. It's spoken by Dryden for George Chapman. Okay, so remember the students. It's a very important quote, very important saying. A dwarfish thought dressed up in gigantic words. It's said by John Dryden about George Chapman. So I'll be uploading the other videos related to the writers of Jacobean era, because I know this video will be very long if I will mention all these writers in a single video, and it will be very boring and uninteresting to you students. So keeping that view in mind, I'll be closing this video now. I'll be ending this session right now. Thank you so much for watching my video with keen interest. I hope you will continue watching my video, and you will if you like my videos, please appreciate it by subscribing my channel, by sharing my contents, and by liking my channel. Thank you so much.